we're about to go into our AWS root account. Like I explained earlier and confirmed by Tisho, the root account is like your apartment complex, and the user account under the root account is the apartment unit, the tenants that occupy the apartment units in your apartment complex. The root account give you complete access to be a decision maker, you know, in your environment. The root account um, is that account that makes the final decision. The root account is an account that is designed to delegate responsibilities, is designed to create roles, permission to others or for others to carry out assigned tasks inside the cloud environment. In this case, we're logged into our AWS development and testing account. Development and testing account is the account that is designed, that is set aside to carry out the dirty work, to do the dirty job, the dirty task. What does that mean? It just means to build, break, tear down, build again, break, get, tear down, in order to have a finished product. It is like a manufacturing factory. We'll go from testing, we'll go from experimenting to moving those experiment and testing to a finished product and moving them to production. So from the development and testing account, we move to production account. So this in turn gives us a give us insight into our product, what we're building, to make sure that everything is working as planned. That's why the dev test account exists. The dev test account is to make sure that everything works as planned, not the other way around. Is to help us have great understanding on what we are doing. Is to help us avoid embarrassing ourselves in public. It's like the bathroom where you take a shower and all that stuff, like the kitchen where you cook and you have to cook, clean, and everything is messy, and then you clean up afterwards. And when you're done cooking, you move the food to the dining table where your guests or your family can eat. It's like the farm where you plant crops. For example, farmers market. A root account is, sorry, a DevTest account is like the farmer. It's like a farm where the farmer goes to plant stuff and then move those stuff to the market, the public market. In America, it's called the farmers market, where customers come in to buy from the farmer in that place called farmers market. So the first thing we do is to go to services. Under services, we have security, identity, and compliance. In AWS, there are a lot of services. There's what they call the mother services and child services. For example, mother service in AWS, I'll tell you what that mother service equal to category. Example of a mother service or category, if you want to call it that. Compute. Developer tools. 3, storage. 4, robotic. Let me see. 4 containers, 5 database, 6 migration and transfer, 7 networking and content delivery, 8 robotics, 9 blockchain, 10 satellite, 11 quantum technologies, 12 management and governance, 13 14 analytics. Analytics, right? That's my pronunciation can be toned down a little bit. 15 machine learning, 16 security, identity, and compliance, 17 Internet of Things, which is another popular thing for IoT, 18 game development, 19 and user computing, 20 business application. Did I capture everything? Oh, did I do customer engagement enablement? Where am I, guys? Oh, did I capture everything? I think I'm missing something. Who has a sharp eye? I can look into this. Hopefully we're not missing anything. I think 21 customer enablement. So why are this important? Why is this important? Why is this important? I'll show you something. AR, VR. Okay, I have business application. Okay, I think it's 22. AR VR. What does AR VR stand for again? No, no, no. Augmented. Thank you. Augmented reality slash virtual reality. If you look at this so far, there's much more than this stuff in AWS, but the modern services that AWS has in their console right now is compute, developer tools, storage containers, migration and transfer, network and content delivery, robotics, blockchain, satellite, quantum technologies. That's the new kind of computing that will take over. It's going to override all these ones that we have in the future. Quantum management and governance, um, desktop, media services, analytics, machine learning, security, identity and compliance, Internet of Things, game development, end user computing, business application, customer enablement. Then the second one is AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality. All of this is a long list, but you don't need to learn all of this to get a job. You need at least maybe 1, 2, or 3, at the most 4, or most 5. You need to know 5 of this to get a job. If you're working with a company like Facebook Oculus, you will not have business with, for example, media services. That will not be your business. Satellite, blockchain, that will not be your business. Containers, yeah, sort of. That may not be your business too. If you're a solutions architect, if you're a cloud engineer, that will not be your business. What you will get, you will be working on everything that is under AR, VR, because that is the most service the company will be focusing on because of the type of products, because of the type of service they provide. AR, VR is pretty much the way to help companies that focus on that are providing those kind of services. AWS is category specific, tied to a business, specific business. AWS categories of services tied to a specific business. Under compute, the word compute is another Greek word for computer. It's not a Greek word, that's misinformation. It's just me playing around, right? It's a word from computer, compute, computer. It's cloud language. Under compute, you have, let's go to all the child services. These are the mother services. Under the mother services, there's child services. The child services is the subcategory. The mother service is the category. The child is the subcategory in this case. A category, for example, if you go to what website can I use as subcategory? Essential. No, let's use Deloitte. Deloitte has been kind to us. Let's promote them. Great company, best company to work for is Deloitte. What's that company that usually bans people from working for? Look at this. This industries there is a category. Everything under industries is a subcategory. Under services is a category. Everything under services is a subcategory. It's the same thing with AWS. Under compute is the category of what we offer. We offer compute service. Under compute service, I said that compute means computer, right? EC2, do you know what it stands for? Elastic Compute Cloud. This is where the cloud language comes in. Elastic Compute Cloud means that it's a computer that has elasticity. So what that means is that EC2, so E, let me break it down. What this means is that elastic equal to E, compute equal to 1. Clad 1C, 1C, 1C plus 1C equal to 2C. So elastic C2. You understand the math? That means all that buzzword, those names there, is just showing that Elastic Compute Cloud has 2 C's in the entire word, the full line. Elastic E. Then instead of say ECC, it won't look nice because they're trying to create branding. So they say EC2. It's just a name. Elastic Compute Cloud is just a name. Understand it. I don't want you to see it as, oh my God, how will I get to know this stuff? It's just a name. It's just a name. EC2. That's what it stands for. Elastic Compute Cloud. So you don't say Elastic Compute Cloud to the customer. If they understand EC2 on the job, you say EC2. Oh, have you spin up an EC2 instance? The word spin up is tied to EC2, for example. Spin up an EC2, please. There are different type of EC2. What this means is that I told you yesterday, I don't know if you got it, by revelation, we saw that the cloud is server as a service. The cloud is server as a service. What that means is that you are selling unused space on your server to those who need a server for their business. That's what the cloud is. Server as a service. I'm sure this is first note at the cloudicians. Take note in case you hear it anywhere else. We coined it. We, the people. So Elastic Compute Cloud is just a server virtualized. All that physical stuff that we're looking at yesterday on Sunday, sorry. Where is it? Where's our server? Okay. This is the Elastic Compute Cloud. This physical thing virtualized. How is it visualized? We'll get into the details later. Just know that it's visualized. That EC2 that you're seeing is the same as this physical box. To visualize something means to give access to something. To give access other than a physical access, a non-physical access to a device, to a device in this case, right? That performs similarly as though it was a physical device. That's virtualization. So this is EC2. EC2 is this. EC2 is a virtual server. That means physical server that is virtualized. EC2 is like the physical soccer game that has not been turned into a virtual game. Before now, video assistant referee. Before now, a referee will have to look at the game, the mistakes of the players and stuff. But that sometimes they make judgment in error. But now, refereeing has been visualized. That's what visualization means. These are referees. They made judgments in error in the past. They made judgment in error in the past, because their eyes have limitations. So they planted a system called VAR. VAR now assists them in catching those errors that was not possible before on the pitch of soccer. I don't know if the American football sport has adopted that now, but this is widely used for soccer. This is what visualization means. Something that you can do without having to be physically there, present. Am I confusing anybody here? Do you have questions? Do you have questions?
So it's like when somebody remotes into your computer, right?
Yeah, the possibility of that person to remote into your computer is visualization.
Okay.
How it was possible. Yeah, Ken, the errors like play acting. Right, right, right. That's a good one. That's a good one, Kendi. Thank you. So understand, I don't want you, because these things are IT stuff, right? Some of you don't have that background. If you have the background, you can be IT professional. When I started the cloud, it was even difficult for me, although I have many years of IT experience. So I don't want you to go through what I went through. That's why I'm trying to take my time to break it down, something that's relatable, so you know what you're getting into. So you don't just go and get certification and then you can't defend it. You'll be crying. I've seen I've used to cry in prayers in those days. It's not like I was crying because I know my tears was okay. Thank you. King Guna said something that's very powerful. He said, just like Zoom, virtual learning and meeting. Before now, you have to be in class, right? You have to be in a physical building. But now you don't have to. Everyone can be in a Zoom meeting and we're connected. This is visualization in education. This is academic visualization. That's academic learning visualized. So is this EC2. This EC2 is called a virtual server. Please write it down. EC2 is a virtual server. It is physical server visualized. That's what EC2 is. It means elastic compute cloud. The C and the 2 just means that there's double C in the word, right? I won't say sentence, but that's the right word here. Elastic compute cloud. And the name of the application, Elastic ECC. That's what it is. C plus C, 1C plus 1C equals to 2C. That's EC2. That means it's 2C that is here. It's just for name branding. But the work of this EC2 is to have a virtual capacity. EC2, 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 Elastic Compute Cloud. Elastic Compute Cloud. One person pronounced it says Lambada. It's not Lambada. Lambda. Na be the lamb. Know that song? It's lamb with da. With da. Temitope, say lambda. Don't unmute. I can hear you. Say lambda. Correct. That's my girl. So the other one is Bash, Elastic Beanstalk. All of those you get to know later on. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You just only need a few. You just need to master a few. There are general services in AWS, and there's something called the featured services. The featured services. Uh, See, featured services. Not the focus. Number 4, S3. Again, the same problem with the S3 thing is the same as what is that this thing? What did I
EC2.
thank you. I'm looking for the notepad really. Okay. Or is it the same notepad? Okay. The S3 thing is like the same one. I did this math, right? Is simple. storage services S3. That means simple go to honest storage equal to 1s services equal to 1x. What it means is the total go to 1s plus 1s plus 1x go to S3. It's just Shika, go for it.
So the future, is it like the great grandfather, and the mother services is like the father, and the child services is like the child, the kid?
Yes.
If that is the case, why is compute not the mother service
Oh,
and EC3 subnet?
So in this analogy, right? Sorry for the confusion. This analogy is saying, like, if you go to a regular websites, AWS is kind of still like Deloitte.com now, right? Deloitte will show you what they offer by advertising it on their website. So if you go to a website where there's nothing at all, there's no category, you won't know what they offer, right? The categories is just a baseline to show us that, oh, we are offering these services. We are offering compute. Under compute services, we have different other subcategories, sub-services that we're offering under compute. Compute is a word, it's not a technology. The word compute is a concept, not a technology. So AWS, we're offering compute services. So under compute services, wrap the technology that we're offering, EC2. Remember, there's Elastic Compute Cloud. Compute, AWS is using compute as a category. Or in a website, all these things you see here, services, industries, insights, careers, those are referred to as categories. Those are referred to as categories. Everything under this category is called a subcategory. It's the same thing in AWS. Compute is a category. So in other words, to break it down, we use the analogy that compute is the mom. And everything under compute are the kids. So I still have to fix my AWS stuff. But compute is the mom. Everything under compute is just the subcategories. Compute is a category. A category is just showing like the umbrella service that the website is offering, or the umbrella product. Or let's say, Johnson, you have a question or contribution?
I just wanted to contribute maybe to that.
Okay. Let me fix mine.
I'm seeing a feature as DNA, like in the family, because you said it spreads out all the other, within all the other. Yes, Doctor. So I was saying that the feature to me is more like the DNA, because from the grandparent to the parents, everyone, they all share that particular bit. So all the other services within AWS have all these different kinds of features. You just have to activate them. I just wanted to throw in that. I don't know if that applies.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Also, let me add something, Prof.
Okay,
I
please.
think pretty much we can also analyze it as a school where pretty much, you know, you have the principal and the different teachers that teaches the different subjects, you know, like chemistry, biology, or whatever. You know.
Beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Someone said,
So, sir,
yes, Shika.
so there's nothing like services, no, child category and mother category in AWS. You were just trying to explain
It's an analogy.
using that. Okay, got it.
An analogy.
That was
Thank you. But thank you for speaking up, Shika. Thank you so much. Because that's, I'm sure that some people might have the same concerns and stuff. Thank you.
So there's a future in AWS language, right?
There's a what?
There's a feature in AWS language.
A feature.
Yeah.
Who understand that? Johnson, do you understand what it means?
He's asking if the feature services
Feature
exist.
services. I'm talking about feature services.
Okay, so maybe you didn't okay. Okay, let me share my screen again. Let me share my screen. So what I wrote here when my brain was really hot, I was just kind of dumping it down.
Feature services. Okay.
No, good questions, sir. Good questions, sir. Let me ask. Where are you? Let me answer your question. So I said there are a lot of general services in AWS, and also likewise several general services I meant by a lot of services under different categories, but AWS coined a list. So the way AWS work, guys, listen to this. The way AWS work is that AWS provide a place, an environment. For example, Shika, when you go to the store to shop, you're somewhere in Sandy Spring, right? In Sandy Spring, where's Shika? Shika, where are you? I need you. Unmute.
I'm here, sir.
Okay, let me use this example, right? Women shopping, men, not so much. Women shop for men to make them look good. When you go to the mall to shop, right? Don't you take your time if you want to spoil yourself and stuff to go around the store? Do you buy everything from each store you go to?
No.
But the mall provide the avenue for you to have unlimited choices of items you will be interested in, maybe now, tomorrow, or the future at any time, right?
Yeah.
The mall is like the cloud, and the services inside the cloud is like the stores inside the mall. Okay, so what I said about the future service, like, I don't know if you've seen this movie. I like to use things that are relatable, so sorry. Mean to offend you. There's this movie called The Suicide Squad. They are all bunch of criminals. But the American government brought them together because they have different skill sets. They're all criminals. Some of them killed people. Some of them stole from the government. Some of them very funny behavior. But okay, go and say, okay, we need you guys. We can put our soldiers. You guys are already wasted anyway. We just need you guys to go do this dirty job. So we brought them together and gave them gun as a team, Suicide Squad. But it was different crime that they were into. I mean, if you see this movie, the part one, yeah, it was different crime they were into. It's the same thing with the featured service. The featured service, AWS draw them from different category. The featured service just means that the most frequently used, it's like the most frequently asked questions. It doesn't mean that there were no other questions though, right? It's just like the most frequently asked questions. So we have thousands of questions that people ask us. But sometimes Moses will ask me one question before anybody will ask that question again. It's like 5 years time. That question that Moses asked me. So AWS says that most people come to their platform just because you're in AWS doesn't mean that you have to use all of the services. You see that? There are featured services. That means the most commonly used, the most important service for most customers. And that's what we want to learn. We don't want to learn everything. We want to know about everything. We want to be expert on the featured ones. You understand? Because it's the featured ones that every customer that comes must use the featured one. Every customer that comes must use VPC. Every customer that comes must use EC2. Every customer that comes must use storage. So because of that, why just go learn a lot of stuff? It's like the mall, remember? Remember, AWS is like the mall. Don't get intimidated by the services. Just know that you're not here to learn everything. You're here to learn a few and become an expert in those. That's what gives you the job and keeps you on the job. Sir, did I answer your question?
You're making sense, doctor.
It makes sense now.
Sir,
So, yes.
please, can you decide to specialize in certain area of AWS?
Oh, definitely. To answer your question, and maybe the question that other may have, 1 second. Let me show you. This is specialization. You can specialize and become a cloud data analytics. You can specialize and become a database engineer in the cloud. You can become a security expert, a machine learning authority, advanced networking expert. But the truth of the matter is that for you to be a good general in the army, you must first become an infantry soldier. That will make you a qualified general. If you promote yourself through education and you get to officer level, you will not become an effective general compared to the guy who started from South Texas, from the E-Billies of Texas, who worked his way where with a certain accent and called instead of 5, he said 5, and he went to the army and started from the infantry, went to war in Vietnam, went to war in this, went to war in Iraq, went to this, went to that, and he got promoted all the way. He understands the workings of the army in the US Army, right? Versus a guy who just got into the big position, become a whatever the officer level is, and just start going through many courses and to become top guy. They are generals, but one is more effective general than the other because he went through every steps of the way to climb to the top. But the other guy shortcut his way, which is to explore the loophole that is there in the military. So you want to go through the foundation. A lot of you are not Christians, but in my Bible it says, if the foundation is 40, where will you run to? You won't have anywhere to run. Even in practical in life, if your foundation is 40 in your house and there's hurricane, you will be the first one to be homeless in your neighborhood. If your foundation is not strong, your neighbor's home will stand, but yours will go out. Yes, please.
So this course is geared towards which of these certification?
All of them. So everything you're going, you start, it's like we're taking foundation now to understand. The foundation is more important than the specialization.
Okay.
This foundation is the most important because everything will be built on this foundation. So that's why we're making the foundation solid. When we start running now, you see 2-3 weeks, people are passing 3 certifications. It's not that difficult, but the foundation is solid. You understand where it is from the basic, and you start climbing up. It will not make any much of a.
So by the time we finish, you can make attempts with
all of the certifications. All of it.
Thank you.
AWS Cloud Practitioner is the foundation.
Yes, this is the one.